Well, it's official.
Hello, boys!
Boys?
I'm back!
And ladies too, of course. But after several letters sent out to different landowners and only a couple of replies, which is sort of what you expect, I've got 2 new permissions. And this will be my first night in the first one. And I'm quite pleased. There's been a lot of new planting here, so there's loads of these protective plastic sleeves and wooden stakes everywhere. And when I got permission, the landowner said, "Oh, I'll need to tidy the wood up a bit for you before you start using it. Get rid of all these spikes and stuff." And I said, "You're having a laugh, mate. I'll take care of that. I can burn all the spikes off, and I'll builder's bag up all the plastic sleeves for you and just leave them by the side of the field." So that's the deal. Quite a lot of clearance. There's a lot of them, but certainly worth the effort. There seems to be an awful lot of self-seeded new growth as well, which is a good sign. There's plenty of light getting through the canopy. It's not that thick, so nice healthy woodland floor. Downsides to this wood: I can hunt here, shoot here, have my crossbow here, invite guests, bring my family, have fires. There's several different environments here, like bluebell patches, a quarry, a pond. What was I saying? Downsides, wasn't it? I found this in the farmer's field on the way over here. I'm going to take that as an omen and stick it on a tree. Just a little bit of preparation before I take you on a walk around the new wood. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's the fire fed. By the time that ember's down, it'll be time for breakfast. Right, let's give it a tour then, shall we? There's my little pond. It's a little bit shallow at the moment, but it does get quite full. It comes right up to the base of the trees, apparently. Some old favourites that no wood should be without. This is going to be my game prep area. Nice little ready-made table. Firewood wise, I'm going to make these seedling supports a bit of a priority really, just so there's not loads of man-made stuff laying around. Get the forest floor back to pristine condition, but then I can move on to the bigger stuff, right up to dead tree size. I mean, that obviously would involve chainsaws and such and axes, but I'm allowed to process all that, so I'm not lacking firewood. There's another quarry at the far end of the wood, but it looks like it's been a lot less used, and the area itself is a lot less usable because of the steepness of the bank. But the bonus is it goes all the way down to loads of badger sets and rabbit warrens. This whole area is littered in them. So opportunities for a bit of wildlife footage, hopefully some of it in infrared, and obviously with the rabbits, a bit of hunting. There's a well established run here from all the badger sets just over there, and just here they've been digging up for roots, so I reckon a good place for a camera would be either that tree or maybe that one, and you catch all their nighttime activity. Yeah, time for a bit of badger footage, I reckon. And it leads to this big bunch of sets here. They have been busy kids. The whole area is covered in them. Wish there was some way to map everything that's under the ground here and just see how extensive the whole set is. Because some of them are enormous and hundreds of years old, so it would be pretty interesting. Back to an old favourite. That's right, bit for me. Oh, it's all for me. Oh no. Another bit fell in my mouth. If you can hear growling, it ain't the badgers. Whoa. Seems to me like last time we met I was doing something quite similar. Could be doing it again though. None of us can quite believe it's already been a year since we became hobbits. I've got a couple of snippets of footage left over from the last 12 months that need using up, so while I finish my breakfast, here's some of what we've been up to since we moved to the Shire. So here we are, off to our first country crafty fair type thing. Pitched up, camping for 2 nights and selling, and we are stocked to the gills. It's a cracking little wood, this. And this quarry area really lends itself to setting up camp. All these little corners are good, where you can set up your fire and the heat radiates away from the walls. So that'll be good in the winter. It's got loads of flat surfaces to do food prep and such on. But ever since I got here last night, I haven't been happy completely with the camp setup, because I set up that way to get the views over the fields in the morning, but the wind's blowing quite hard in this way, so that was never going to work long term. And I had a little look over there. Back that way is no good because it's all badgery, but I had a look over here, and there's a couple of other places I could have set up, but nothing as good as this. It's just interesting, isn't it? It's got a lot of features. A lot of useful bits and pieces. So I wanted to stay here, so that meant that I had to rethink the camp setup, and this is what I've done. Turn the shelter around so the wind whips over the top of it, so that's the back there, and then I put the fire in another corner so it should radiate out again, and then I've got wood stack there, flat surface again for doing stuff on, pack rack down that side, and shelter facing into all of it. I think it's quite an efficient little setup, that. Many a happy night here, no doubt. And there's the view from the top of the bank. Home sweet home. Obviously the wind gets quite strong now and again. That's something to bear in mind on windy nights. I'm a lucky boy. If you have been looking for permission woodland to use and you haven't got it yet, keep the faith, you know, keep plugging away, because there are these people out there that do want to share. This guy I sort of found by accident, and when I asked him, you know, do you have any rules, is there anything I can and can't do, sort of here's a list of things that I'd like to do, he just went, oh, that's alright, crack on. So those sort of people are out there, and if you ain't found one yet, don't give up, because it's worth the wait. So, there you have it, the new permission. I haven't got an awful lot of filming done on this video because it's been a voyage of discovery for me as well, sussing the place out. But I do have a lot of ideas that will suit the wood. I'm bringing my family, the girls here. I'm going to get some guests invited as well, do some overnighters. Suss the wildlife out, find out what wild food there is here to eat. I'm hoping I see some ramsons pop up so I can do some cooking with. Mainly though, I'm just really looking forward to getting out here as much as I can and getting to know a new place. The day and night habits of the wildlife, the plants, the weather, seasonal changes, the whole package. I'm surrounded 360 degrees by crops here, so there'll be plenty to watch as the year turns, and hopefully the opportunity to learn a bit about farming too as the crops ripen and the fields change over the months. As well as the usual leave no trace policy, there's a tidy up of all the sapling sleeves, wooden stakes and other litter to crack on with. As you can see from what I cleared just from the immediate area around camp on this trip, it's going to be a labour of love, but well worth the investment of time and energy. I'll keep you updated on the progress of the clearance as I move through the area, and hopefully we can watch the wood return to a more natural state together. Not forgetting, of course, I've still got the other patch to check out. I really don't know much about that yet, other than it's got poplars and it's near a small river, so as you can imagine I'm fairly keen for a recce of that. I will keep you posted. That's the original fireplace cleared up, and my new campsite with just a little wood pile for next time. And that's it for today, folks. It's time to pack up again. Doesn't matter how long I'm here, when I'm out I'm wishing I had longer, and when I'm not I'm thinking about being back. It never feels like long enough. You've only got to blink. And it's time to leave. 24 hours in the woods and I've absolutely loved it. See you next time.